Yo!
Saudi Arabia intercepts rockets over Riyadh on Saturday night.
Yo, guys, we have to go. Oh my God.
Saudi state media said they came from Yemen, fired by Houthi rebels. Several explosive-laden drones targeted other southern Saudi cities. The attack came as Houthi rebels pushed forward in the northern Yemeni province of Marib. They launched an offensive against the Saudi-backed Yemeni government here in early February. Saturday was the most violent day yet. After more than 6 years of war, the Houthis want Marib because it's the Yemeni government's last northern bastion. To capture it could bolster the Houthis at the negotiating table.
Be it homemade metal shields etched with the words people, or bamboo stalks, umbrellas, garbage cans filled with bricks. These makeshift street barricades against advancing security forces are sprinkled across Myanmar. In Yangon, thousands of pro-democracy protesters continued demonstrating, despite intensifying pushback by military forces. On the eve of the one-month anniversary of the nation's military coup, security forces have stepped up their crackdown, turning to even more violent tactics as the military tries to break apart the continued nationwide protests. A use of lethal force, as well as mass arrests, that protesters say will not deter them.
After refusing to pay a cyber ransom, details for a Canadian military spy plane appear to be leaked on the dark web. Canadian business jet manufacturer Bombardier, whose Global 6000 jet is used for Saab's Global Eye spy plane system, announced on Tuesday that it recently suffered a limited cybersecurity breach. The leak posted on the dark website Clop Leaks appeared to show specifications and mechanics for the Global Eye airborne early warning and control platform developed by the Swedish defense company Saab. The leak also included confidential information about customers, suppliers, and employees. Global Eye is a surveillance solution that ensures quick and accurate coverage of vast distances of air, sea, or land, with the ability to switch between surveillance areas in an instant. It is currently in use in Mexico, Brazil, Greece, Pakistan, Thailand, the United Arab Emirates, and Sweden.
You are not the police. That's the warning to private security providers from the SAPS, which says they face arrest if they don't adhere to the law. The notice is contained in a police circular issued in December and followed by another issued by the private security regulator this month. But some in the industry are worried that it could curb their ability to support police.
The SAPS employs about 190,000 personnel, of which 40,000 are civilian staff. Meanwhile, the private sector regulator says there's about 570,000 registered security guards, and cooperation is key to combating crime. But a circular issued in December hints at strained relations. The police warn private security companies they should know their place or face embarrassment and possible arrest.
Gunmen in Nigeria on Saturday released 27 teenage boys who were kidnapped from their school earlier this month. On February 17th, 42 people, including 27 students, were abducted by an armed gang that stormed a secondary school in Niger State. One boy was killed during the raid. One remains in the hospital, according to the Niger State governor. Also on Saturday, police mounted a search for 317 schoolgirls who were abducted Friday in a nearby state. Schools have become targets for mass kidnappings for ransom in northern Nigeria by armed groups whose agenda is unclear.
Captain Sir Tom Moore, the World War II hero, was laid to rest in a spectacular send-off with a flypast by a World War II aeroplane. The fundraising hero passed away in February after being diagnosed with coronavirus. A C-47 Dakota plane from the Second World War soared across the sky overhead as family and soldiers paid final tributes to the war veteran. The 100-year-old war veteran's coffin was draped with a Union Jack flag. Soldiers formed a guard of honor at the funeral. 6 soldiers from the Yorkshire Regiment, the successor to the one that Moore served in during the Second World War, carried his coffin. 14 soldiers gave a firing salute to the war veteran. Moore's 2 daughters, 4 grandchildren and sons-in-law attended the private funeral. Water canals in Venice are almost completely dry due to exceptionally low tides. Italy's city of water, known as one of the world's most beautiful canal towns, is experiencing low tides and little rains. Water levels have reached a peak of minus 48 centimeters, leaving the wood-paneled water taxis stranded in banks of mud. The famous canals have turned into muddy trenches and boats are left stranded in the city. Rainfall has also been significantly low. Now, the drop in water has peaked below sea level, making it impossible to navigate some of the Venice waterways. It is not the first time that the water canals in Venice have run dry. The city experienced the lowest water levels in 2015 and 2016, exposing large patches of mud and silt. Now, according to experts, heavy investment in flood barrier projects has resulted in a lack of funds to support the removal of mud and sediment from the canals.